Alright, howdy y'all. Today we are going to have a battle report. Since we're in quarantine, my son and I, Axton, have been playing quite a few games. So today we've got Seraphon versus Stormcast. We're playing shifting objectives. So let's take a look at what our lists were for this game. So I'm playing Seraphon. I brought Lord Kroak, and this is going to be in Thunder Lizards inside of Coalesced. So I brought Lord Kroak with the spell Celestial Apotheosis so he can heal things. I've got the Engine of the Gods as my general, and I'm putting the Prime War Beast on him so he gets extra attacks. And the Artefact, the Fusel, which isn't really worth much, but you have to take that in Thunder Lizards. So that's what I'm doing. Thunder Lizards gives all my guys +2 to their wounds, and Coalesced gives me +1 to Jaws and half the damage for everything except mortals. So I also brought 2 Battle Line of Skinks, 3 Bastiladons. Yeah, that's what I just really wanted to get all my Bastiladons on the table, and so I decided we're going to bring all 3 Bastiladons this game, see how they do. And then I've got 2 more Stegodons as 2 more Battle Line units. They're Behemoths normally, but in Thunder Lizards they are Battle Line. So that's my list. No battalions or anything. We're at 1980 points and 97 wounds. So let's look at Axton's list now. Axton's playing Stormcast. He's got the Anvils of the Heldenhammer Stormhost, and so in this one he can fire his units in the hero phase, or he can fight in the hero phase for a command point. And so we're going to try to capitalize on that. He's got the Lord-Ordinator, who's going to go up in the sky with all 4 of your ballistas. He's got 4 ballistas down there. And so we're going to try to command point harvest so that we can fire all those guys in the hero phase. And that's why we bring in the ally of Lord Kroak in. He's our command point generator. What's that? Yeah. So he's our command point generator. He's our ally. So we're going to try to get as many command points as we can out of him. Our Knight-Incantor, who's going to help us cast what?
The Comet.
The Comet, which is his favorite spell, which I really don't like.
No, you like it. You love it.
We've also got Celestant-Prime, who usually doesn't start on the board, comes down later for lots of damage. And Lord-Celestant on Dracoth, which we're currently still building.
Yep.
And so you'll see him, he's missing the Rider. But he's got the required command trait and artifact for the Stormhost, and mount trait of Dracoth, which just lets you reduce some damage that you take. And he'll have the Lightning Hammer, hopefully get some mortals. And Lord Kroak is our ally, then 3 units of Liberators to fill out the battle line, and of course those 4 ballistas. So this game is going to be lots of shooting between our Bastiladons and ballistas. So it's going to be interesting. Anything to add on your list?
No.
Okay. Let's take a look at some of the armies here. We've got our armies. This is his ballistas. He's added some, some interesting mounts to them here. You can see he's got some white lions and I think that's like a Morngul or something, or not a Morngul, a Mornfang that we have there for that one. We are using the normal Slan, but that is going to be the Kroak for us for this list. And we've got those 4 ballistas in Prime there on his list. Let's see what other kind of pictures we got. There's the Liberators are still in work. We just got those from John, one of my gaming guys. So he gave him some Liberators to fill out his army with. On my side here we got our 3 Bastiladons, our 3 Stegodons, some Skinks, 2 Skink Priests. I forgot to mention those Skink Priests. Those are to help really kind of buff up basically any of the big monsters. So they have an incredible ability on their War Scroll where you just roll a 3 up with their staff and you can add +1 to save and run and charge and shoot to a unit. So pretty awesome staff. I'm going to have 2 of those to hopefully get those off on some Stegodons or Bastiladons if I need the extra range. Another glamour shot of the Bastiladons lit up with their LEDs. And our Stegodons. Alright, so we are playing shifting objectives. So here's our deployment. And here's where I made the first mistake of the game. I put my Kroak pretty far forward just because I want to make sure and get him into range for shooting since I don't have any of his support characters. This would ultimately be my biggest mistake because, well, you'll see here in a minute. I'm putting heavy over on this side because his general is over here, and I think he's got a little bit more terrain to put Bastiladons on if he wants to, or Ballistas on if he wants to put them on over here. So I'm going to try to go heavy and go on this one, which he's only got 10 Liberators on that left side. So I'm going to try to push that side. I've got a little bit of speed over here. We're going to send that guy this way and deal with his Liberators and see what happens there. I've got one unit of Skinks, a unit of Skink screens, and my engine near Kroak to help me get the extra roll on the Cosmic Engine. He does have his 3 units of Liberators here, and Kroak and the Incantor right here. And then off the table, he's got all his Ballistas, Ordinator, and Prime. So I did outdrop him, and I had a debate in my head whether I take the first turn so I can get Kroak's command point on himself so that he can reroll saves, or it's +1 to save and shooting. But I didn't because nothing's in range yet. I wanted him to have to drop his Ballistas so I can kind of focus fire, hopefully get the double turn on him, and take those Ballistas out. And so I gave him first turn, and we'll see what happens here. So first turn, he runs his Liberators up just far enough to get into where he's going to score all 3 of these. This middle one is the primary objective and shifting objective, so it's worth an extra 3 points. And you dropped all your Ballistas right here in the middle, didn't you? Mm-hmm. And they were just, I mean, it was like, half an inch within range to hit Kroak. And so Kroak was kind of the target you wanted to get, right? Mm-hmm. So he was trying to kill off Kroak. I was able to unbind the Comet.
Mm-hmm. That's why I like to kill him, because I don't like him unbinding the Comet.
Yeah, he doesn't like my unbinds. Kroak is amazing for unbinds. Even as an ally, he's great. But I only had +1 to unbind, and I was still able to get his unbind from the Comet. He did... did you cast Kroak's Comet the first turn?
Yes,
I can't remember if it did any damage. I don't see it has done any damage. Maybe it didn't cast or was unbound or something. He put Mystic Shield on this guy and had no target for the other spells. So he did move forward, and he got to shoot quite a bit. But he didn't have anything to shoot in his first hero phase with Anvils, but he's just building up those command points for his next turn. So he's gonna have quite a few in his next turn, and so that's what he's gonna be looking for on the next turn, to be able to activate as many of those as possible. There's the empty space where my Kroak used to be. I think it took maybe 3 activations, or maybe all 4.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I think it took all 4.
Took all 4 to kill him. Mm-hmm. Those things can be kind of streaky, the Ballistas. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they hit a whole bunch of damage, sometimes they don't. But he did just enough to take out Kroak in this turn. And this is really going to hurt my list because Kroak was my command point generator. So I gave up Kroak, but I have a chance for a double turn. So let's see how it goes here. So in his turn, he did score those objectives, and he gets 5 points for all the objectives. In my turn, I'm able to start moving up. I do some mortals from the engine on his Knight-Incantor back there. I'm going to try to hope and kill that thing off so it can't cast the Comet. If I can get a double turn, I think I can do it. I don't want to dedicate too much of my shooting into it because the Comet's going to hurt, but I've got to get rid of those Ballistas. So I run this unit here up to score that middle objective because he only had those 5 and then those 4 in 6 inches. So I had 10 Skinks and 1 engine, so I could easily score that one from him. I was able to get a good run on these Skinks here, so they were able to capture this one. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough over here to get in range. I could have run this Stegodon, but I didn't get the staff for that guy off. I got this one off, so this Stegodon was able to move quite a bit. But this one right here, which I really needed because I really wanted to get into those Liberators, I didn't get that roll. So we're moving everything up. My plan for this one, for Thunder Lizards, is kind of hampered because I'm not able to generate any command points. I'm getting 1 per turn, and so I can't fire all my Ballistas. I really, in this list, I really wanted to be able to fire all 3 Ballistas every turn if possible. Bastiladons. I'm gonna mix them up constantly. But the Bastilodons, I really wanted to fire them every turn twice, and that just wasn't going to happen since I didn't have enough command points. So I just start whittling down his ballistas, and I think I put in at least one Bastilodon into this guy and just could not do any damage. So we were wondering, does a ballista give Lookout Sir? It's 3 models, but its War Scroll says it acts as 1. So does that give Lookout Sir? We played it as if it did, just because there were physically there were physically 3 models in that unit. But let me know what you think. Does a ballista count as 3 models for Lookout Sir? I don't know. I was able to kill off 2 of his ballistas here, and so that was good. We're starting to whittle those down. And so at least now he's not going to be able to fire 4 ballistas twice in his next turn. So we were able to score. There's our scoreboard now, 5-4. I think I activated an extra Bastildon maybe that turn. Unfortunately, Axton does get the turn priority. I was really hoping to get a double turn. I did not get it. Now he's got free range to cast that Comet because I don't have a wizard anymore because he killed Kroak. And he puts that Comet just in range to kill that guy, and this guy, and some skinks. So he's able to hit all of them, and he's trying to bracket down my Bastildons, so maybe he can hit them later, where they'll take all the rend if he can get them bracketed.
Yeah.
But it didn't quite do as much damage, I think, as he was hoping. It only did 1 on each of the Bastildons. But he was able to kill off a lot of these skinks with it. And now he's getting to shoot in the hero phase as well. He worked on, I think he sent 1 of them into skinks and then 1 into the engine. Brought the engine down a couple more notches there. Over on the right side, this is the right objective over here. He's got his Liberators into my skinks. Do you remember how many skinks your Liberators killed?
I think it was about...
It was 1.
Yeah.
It was 1. They whiffed big time, and somehow the skinks survived the Liberators. So that was pretty bad. So they were able to hold on to that objective. He still held the one on the left, and he held the one in the middle. But I think, was it this turn that it moved? Yeah, it moved to that right side, so he wasn't able to capture the primary objective. He just captured the other 2. In my turn, I was able to take out quite a few of the Liberators right here. You can see them start disappearing down. I got some mortals on them from the engine. And then we're going to start shooting some Bastilodons. I did get both my staffs off on these guys, so they're pretty pumped up. And they're fast now, so I'm gonna easily get them into the Liberators on that left side and the Liberators here on the right. And I'm able to shoot these guys all the way back to here, and I think I killed that Knight-Incantor back there this turn, so that he can't recast the Comet, and I'm moving out of range. So the Comet is basically out of commission now. He can dispel it with Kroak if he wanted to, but he wouldn't have a way to cast it. These Bastilodons focused fire on the ballistas here, and then I think this one went on the ballistas too. I think we just poured everything into the ballistas to try to take them out, and then charged into the Liberators. Here's my left side charge about to happen. I was a little bottlenecked from the terrain on those Bastilodons. And the right side, all we got to deal with is those 4 Liberators, and we should be good.
5? Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, I think we maybe shot one off. Over here, this was a sad activation. So this was on the left side objective here. And that Stegodon killed 1 Liberator in that combat. So that was a big whiff. It was somewhat similar to yours versus the skinks. But he whiffed big time on that side. But on the other side, we were able to clear off the other... Oh, looks like all but 1. I think maybe even 1 may have run.
Yeah, he ran.
Okay.
1 ran.
In Battle Shock. So we had that objective, and we were not able to take the one on the left. We were able to get actually enough in here because I still had those 2 skinks that were alive. I think I had to Battle Shock them with my command point the last turn. You
had 4 alive and then 2 ran away.
Oh, okay. So that was actually pretty big because I now had 3 models in range, and he only had the 2 ballistas that were still alive. So I was able to hold that objective. But if he got the turn on this one from 2 to 3, it was going to be brutal because he was just going to shoot all this off. Kroak would spell that off, and he still got Prime waiting. So I really want the double turn on this one so that I can finish off those ballistas. So there's the score so far. It's 8-7. I'm up at this point. I'm not generating any command points, and he's got quite a few. I do get the turn, so I do get the turn 3 priority. And so I'm feeling good now. I know I'm going to be able to take out these Liberators, hopefully, but with the focus fire from the Bastiladon and that Stegodon, we can take them out. And I start turning this one, this side, to those Ballistas. These guys are going to finish off the rest of those Liberators, or that one Liberator that was left, and solidify that side. And that's what we do. We get off all the Ballistas. They're dead. I charge this engine into Ordinator. I didn't bring Kroak in, which in hindsight I probably should have, but I knew Kroak would be able to get off at least a few attacks, and I didn't want him to be able to pile in further towards the objective because he was kind of far away from it. So I charged this engine over to this side and went and killed the Ordinator. We cleared off the right side there. All the Liberators were gone. We killed 2 more over here. Did we not kill them all that turn? Oh, I think maybe they ran. Yeah. Because I was able to score that objective. And there's the end of that turn. So the board is already getting pretty light. He's got his 2 heroes in the middle, and that's it. He still has Prime off the board. But at this point, I'm thinking, I can't lose this. I've got this. I just scored all 5. So we got 5 points there. And so we've got a healthy lead. We've got a 6-point lead on him. I'm feeling good. And his turn, he is able to just spam spells onto that engine. The objective does move to this one. So, or it has been here for my turn, and then his turn this one. And he runs his boss, or he moves his boss, who's pretty quick, over to this side to start working on that engine, or the Stegodon. Yeah. And he brings Prime in. So Prime is able to cast his Comet in the shooting phase and basically hit all 3 of those right there. And then this guy has a shooting attack, and he focuses it on the Stegodon as well. So he's really kind of putting the pressure. Actually, you may have been able to hit both of them, I think, with Dracoth's ability. It may have. Yeah. Maybe one of them failed or something. Yeah. So then he kind of sandwiches this guy in, and he's pulled in Bastiladon. The objective is right here, and so as long as these skinks remain here, we'll be fine. But he's got enough attacks. Oh, it looks like your Comet may have hit these skinks. Maybe the Comet hit those guys. That's what it was. That was the play, because now they're at a bravery of 2, -1 from him, -1 from him, and so they are at a bravery of 0. So on their bravery test, I need to roll a 1, and it's re-rollable from the Stegodon to see if I can keep enough bodies around this to hold this objective. So I know for sure that I'm going to lose this thing, because we've got this guy who's really good in combat and Prime coming in hot. But what happens?
Oh, he stays alive.
Yeah. Yes, there it is. He stayed alive. He has 2 wounds left. What a beast. What a beast. Yeah, he was +1 to save from this little guy's buff.
Your skinks ran away. No, maybe 1 stayed.
Yeah, and then he was +1. I chose Prime. And so he was at a 2-up versus Prime, and he made some incredible saves. And then he halves the damage from Coalesced from this guy. So he was only doing 2 damage each, so that really helped. This guy was able to do some mortals, and but he survived and made it through. So that was pretty big. I was thinking, okay, I can hold on to this objective. I think those skinks run. Let's see, you got 4 points. So you got the one in the middle. No, you got that objective then. So you got the one in the middle, which was the primary, and then this one on the right side, which was worth 1 point. So now it's, I'm still doing okay. I'm still feeling confident. I'm up 2 points. Unfortunately, he gets the priority turn. He gets the double turn from 3 to 4.
And I spent 2 command points to attack in the hero phase.
Yep, he was flush with command points now. You had a ton of command points, right? Because Kroak was just sitting there generating them the whole time. So Prime attacked and killed the Stegodon. And then this guy here, he piled in a little bit closer so that in the combat phase he could get to this priest. But he put all of his attacks into the Bastiladon, which was hurt, had a decent save, but I think he got some mortals through. So you did some damage to where he was now at a 4-up save in the combat phase. So in the combat phase, you'll be able to, I think you'll be able to take him out. So from there, we see in the shooting phase, you were able to put enough mortals from the 2 heroes to kill that guy off, and from Kroak. And then Kroak basically just goes and plugs this gap right here between these 2 terrain features so that Bastiladon has a harder time getting to that primary. And that was a good job because that made it kind of tough here in a minute for me to get through. Prime kind of swings this way and then makes a charge, so he's just making his way this way to put pressure using movement and charges. In your phase, you're able to kill off that Bastiladon.
Yep.
Because he was heavily bracketed now. So now we're losing models. He got 4 points here, but it's not over yet. It's not over yet. The objective's in the middle. Okay, if I can score this objective, I'll score 4 points, and basically the game will be out of reach. Because here we are on the scoreboard. If I can put up 4 here in this phase, I'll have enough that I think I can keep him. No matter how much he scores here, he's not going to get all the way over to the far left one. That we should win the game. So here comes the critical moment of this game. He's got Kroak here. I've got a priest that's going to charge this way, and a Bastiladon that's going to charge this way, so that we can make sure and get 2 models within range of this. This Stegodon had no chance of getting there just because of the terrain, so he swung around this way, and on the double turn, he'll come in and block Prime from coming that way. So, I'm not in 6 yet. I want to put a little bit of damage on Kroak just so that I can take him out in combat, maybe. I don't want to put too much damage on him, so I'm just going to shoot this one Bastiladon at him, and then I'm going to put everything else into Prime. Okay? I think I can hurt Prime enough to where it'll make a difference, but we'll see. So, in this phase, I shoot 1 Bastiladon, which should average 4 damage against a 4-up. Against Kroak, who has a 4-up after save, it should average 2 damage. How much damage did it do, Kroak?
Over 7.
Yeah, it killed Kroak. 1 Bastiladon accidentally killed Kroak. So I rolled 9 dice, 4 up, 3 up, -1 Ren, 2 damage. And it was something like 12 damage. You saved a couple, but then had to make 8 feel no pain, 4-up saves. So I'm like, okay, as long as he saves 2 of these, I'll still have a charge target so I can get into the melee. No, he fails every single one except 1. He saves 1, but it didn't matter because it was 7. So he failed 7 4-up feel no pains. And now I don't have a target to charge.
I got like 1s and 2s.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And so that right there would probably cost me the game, won him the game, because I accidentally killed Kroak. And now I can't charge in and get that objective. And so, it's like, what? The statistic thing that will never happen always happens when you don't want it to happen. So here's a lesson for you. If you can kill it, and that would lose you the game, don't even try. Because I would have charged in, I would have had 2 models in range. I had a command point extra to spend if I needed to reroll the charge, but no, it wasn't going to happen. So I killed Kroak, and in that turn, there's where Kroak used to be. And I'm just sitting there on my hands. I can't do anything. And so there you see it. I only scored 1 point that turn, and now it comes down to the roll-off. Actually, first it comes down to where this objective goes. If it goes to the only side he has control of, this one, it's game over. If it goes to the middle one, it'll come down to priority roll. If it goes to this one, I've got the win. So it's a toss-up. It's seriously a toss-up. Unfortunately, it went to that third objective on his side, and so it was going to be game over. There was no way I was going to be able to get to it. So he did win the priority, and he could basically just pull his models back this way, sit on that one, and win the game. So he would get 4 points that turn. Let's see if we got the scoreboard up. He would get 4 points. The most I could get would be 2, getting to that middle objective in mine. And so he won by 3 points. Good game. So it came down. It really did. I mean, we had 6 models on the table. I had a Stegodon, 2 Bastiladons, and a Skink Priest. He had Prime and the Dracoth. That's not a lot of models left, and it really came down to a dice roll on that shifting objectives. So, man, don't shoot a target you need to charge, even if there's statistically no way to kill it, unless everything exactly wrong happens. Don't risk it, because it'll happen, won't it? Man, so how'd you like Kroak as an ally?
He was nice. I really like it because I could fire the ballistas twice in the hero phase and in shooting phase.
Yeah, we played Anvils before, and the biggest problem with it was that you had no command points because you'd only have 1, maybe 2 a turn. But with Kroak, you're generating quite a few. Look at this scoreboard. By the end of it, he had 5 unused command points. And that's with firing and fighting everything he could for the last couple turns. So, think you'd take Kroak again? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And his Comet's good for taking out small heroes.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else you learned from this game?
Not really.
You still like your ballistas?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about the Bastiladons?
They were tough to beat.
Yeah, they were tough. You didn't even I healed up the other one that you hurt, so you never even really touched these, but they were back there out of any useful range for me to do anything the last 2 turns. Mm-hmm. So, all right, it was a fun game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you like it?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna play Thunder Lizards again? Do you like playing against all the monsters? Or are they kind of scary?
I don't want to play them again.
You don't want to play them again?
I said I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. We killed off a lot of our models. I mean, only having 6 models at the end of the game.
Now Dad's going to bring the Source Warriors.
Okay, you want to play my Source Warriors next?
I forgot which one, but they give your Kroak an after, like...
Oh, yeah, the guard, the Source guard, the Temple guard, yeah. Yeah, they can help Kroak survive. Yeah, so that was another mistake I made, getting Kroak too close. I just need to, against the ballistas, I just need to line them up and back further out of range. So it was a ballsy move to put all your guys there all your ballistas there in the middle. Mm-hmm. It took me a while to take them all out, though.
Mm-hmm. Took like you maybe 3 turns.
And they took out the engine, Kroak, a unit of skinks. Anything else?
I
think that may be all they took out.
Yeah.
But they held the middle there for a little while. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Good stuff. Good game. Let me know if there's a way to play ballistas for Stormcast that you've seen that might be better. How many Bastiladons can you fit in your list and make it viable? I kind of like playing all 3 of them. That was kind of fun. I really wish I kept Kroak alive so I could have gotten some summons from the engine. That's usually where I count on my extra bodies from. So, all right. Good game, Axton.
Good game.